Hi KMS, Mrs. Hines here. Today we'll be working with scratch.mit.edu. You'll also want to check today's classroom in your Google Classroom for today's assignment. It's very important that you fill this out every day. When you go to the website scratch.mit.edu, you'll sign in with your username and password. Once you log in, you're able to go by clicking on your name in the top right to your stuff by clicking on My Stuff. You can edit the greeting that we started last time by clicking See Inside. Last time, if you remember, we added a second sprite to our animation. I wanted to show you a few more things that you could do under the Looks tab with any sprite. This sprite is mostly white with some color here. So I think in addition to my code here, I'm going to use more code under the Looks tab to make it look even cooler. I think I said this earlier in another video, but I just love this change color effect option. You do have the ability to change other effects, so play around with all of these and see which one you like best. I'm going to change the color effect works best when you use options under the control. I'm going to have this loop forever. So after the unicorn comes in, it will always change color. This may prevent me from adding more blocks of code here, so I'll have to have, in addition to this, if I want my unicorn to do anything else, another set of code that begins with another event. So I'm going to use another green flag here. What might be easier is just changing this here. So then it's going to happen forever the whole time, and then I can still add on to this code block. This will be different for everyone's set of code, so you really have to look. Your code starts with the green flag and follows a logical order, a linear path down through. So you may have to check out every time you add a block. I would suggest running your code to make sure that it's operating the way that you think it should. Also, please make sure that you're saving constantly. So I like that. I just wish he talked a little bit after the fact, so I think I'm going to add a wait. So after he glides in, he's going to wait a second before he says that he's excited for tech at KMS this year. What I'm going to do next is in my Scratch, I'm going to go under costumes here on the left-hand side of my unicorn. I can actually, by right-clicking on this unicorn, I can duplicate this. I just made myself two costumes that look exactly the same. One is called Unicorn 3 and one is called Unicorn 1. You can change the costume name up here if it's easier for you, because you may have one sprite. This is just the unicorn sprite here, but it has two costumes. You might have a sprite that has 40 costumes if you're working on an animation. So you may want to get into a good habit of properly naming your costumes and your sprites. I'm going to name this one Left. If my unicorn was looking like he was going to be traveling left on the screen, and my second costume that I duplicated, I'm going to flip it horizontally, and I'm going to name this unicorn Right. So now if you look on the side here, these costumes are named Left and Right. When I go back under my code, I may have to change if it ever said when a specific sprite is called something, because it's still called unicorn. But now when I go under my looks, the costumes are called left and right as well. That's a really nice feature that it changes. So when I first have him come on, I want him to look like he's traveling left, because he's going to be coming here and going this way, going left over to the screen. And then perhaps I have him, I'll run the code so I can see where he ends up. And once he gets there, I'll have him travel off the screen and then back and forth in a loop. So we'll see that go on here. So that he's excited, he's in the right spot. So after that, I'm going to have him travel to here. So under my motion, I can grab the glide and add that to my code block here. And then I can have him switch how he looks, or she, I don't know what gender the unicorn is. We'll see. Switch to the right, and then have it travel back over here. So I'll have it glide here, and then switch to the left. And I want to see if this works before I put it in any. So I just added these few code blocks here. So I'm gliding and switching from left to right. So I want to see if it comes in the right way. So it's facing the right way now. It travels over. Cool. I love it. Awesome. So I'm going to hit File and Save now. See if you can add some more code blocks using anything that you like from the Looks tab and the Motion tab. Some kind of other fun things in the Looks is when you can change the size. So perhaps I initially set the size to be 100% when he first starts off. Then maybe after they switch, it's going to change it and it will look like it's growing. So let's put that in a repeat. But remember, this is going to happen like lickety split. So I might have to have it just wait even like 0.3 a second so you can actually see it change. And this might not be as big as I want. So let's try like something like 40. All right, let's run our code and see what happens. It's all unicorns and rainbows over here. So I like it. I'm going to hit save. I hope you can find something that you're able to do in Scratch like this. Save often. If you guys have questions, comments, concerns, you can email us. Otherwise, happy coding, KMS.